Here I'm back to read chapter 5. Hope you're having a good time. Junie B. Jones is not a crook. Chapter 5. Gargling and scribbling. Room 9 is way far from the principal's office. I had to stop at the water fountain, or else I might not make it. I pressed the water button with my thumb. Then I puckered up my lips and I sucked the water in. I didn't even put my lips on the spout, 'cause there's lip dirt on that thing, of course. I sloshed the water all around in my cheeks. Then I bended my head way back and I did some gargles. I can gargle very perfect, except I can't keep the water in my mouth, actually. It runded out the sides and dribbled on the floor. It splashed onto my toe. That's when I saw something very wonderful down there. Hey, it's one of those pins that writes 4 different colors, I said. I quick picked it up and pushed the little red button on the top. A red pin popped out of the bottom. I scribbled red scribbles all over my hand. Wowie, wow, 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 wow! I love this thing, I said. After that, I pushed the green button, and I scribbled green scribbles. And I pushed the blue button, and I scribbled blue scribbles. Plus, also, I pushed the black button, and scribbled black scribbles. This pen makes scribbling a pleasure, I said. I put it in my pocket and started skipping to room 9. Only too bad for me, 'cause all of a sudden I remembered about the lost and found. I stopped. Oh no. I wish I didn't even remember about that, I said. Now I have to take my pen to the lost and found, or else I won't get to wear a grin. I did a frown, 'cause something didn't make sense here. That's why. Yeah. Only I was already wearing a grin, I said. I weared a grin as soon as I saw this wonderful thing. And so taking it to the office will only make me sad. I tapped on my chin. Maybe Principal is a little mixed up about this, I said to just myself. I'm pretty sure I will be happier if I keep it. And here's another thing I'm thinking. I'm thinking whoever owned this pin didn't even care to take care of it. So I will give it a good home. And so what can be a gooder deed than that? I took it out of my pocket and looked at it. Plus, this even makes sense, 'cause first I got my mittens stolen, and then I couldn't have the teddy bear backpack. And so keeping this pin is, well, it's just fair and square. All of a sudden, my whole face lighted up, 'cause I just thought of a different poem, that's why. And it's called Finders, Keepers, Loser, Weepers. Finders, Keepers, Loser, Weepers, I said, real thrilled. Finders, Keepers, Loser, Weepers. Then I jumped up and down, very happy, 'cause everybody says that. And so finders keepers is really the rule. Well, I bet. After that, I put my pen back in my pocket, and I skipped the rest of the way to room 9. Chapter 6. My grandpa's wallet. I kept my pen in my pocket the whole rest of the day. I didn't want people to see it, or else they might tattletale to Mrs., and she would make me take it to the lost and found. I behaved myself very good, 'cause I didn't want to attract attention. That's why. I kept my hand in my pocket so my pen would not fall out. Also, I kept thinking about my mittens, 'cause I still miss those furry guys. I put my head down on the table. Maybe my Grandpa Miller might buy me some more furry mittens, I whispered and thought, 'cause that would be perfect. A perfect solution, I think. I raised my hand. Hey, yeah, then I would have wonderful new pen, plus a wonderful new mittens. And so what's more can a girl ask for? That's what I'd like to know. I sat up in my chair and tapped on Lucille. Guess what, Lucille? Maybe my Grandpa Frank Miller might buy me some new mittens, and then all my troubles will be over. Lucille said, whoop-de-doo for you. I know, whoop-de-doo for me, I said, real thrilled. And so, thank you very much for your support. After school, me and my bestest friend named Grace rode the bus together. I runded home from my corner like a speedy bullet. My Grandpa Frank Miller was babysitting my brother named Ollie. Grandpa Frank Miller! We gotta go to the mitten store. I hollered real loud. Grandpa Miller was in the living room rocking Ollie. He looked funny at me. Go where? He asked. To the mitten store. We've got to go to the mitten store. I pulled up his hand. Get up. Let's go. Go, I wiggled on. Grandpa Miller looked confused at me. That's how come I had to sit down and I told him what had happened at school. Someone stole my mittens, I said. They stole them while I was being brownie, and I didn't even know there were crooks at that place. Grandpa Frank Miller shook his head very sad. I guess you can find crooks almost anywhere, honey, he said. I know it, I told him. That's how come I'm never going to see those furry guys again, and so you and me have to go to the mitten store. I felt his back pocket. Then I danced around real thrilled. Hooray, I said. Hooray for your big fat wallet, 'cause you got cash in there, right, Grandpa? Right. Grandpa Frank Miller laughed. Yes, I do. I've got cash all right, he said. But I'm afraid we won't be able to go buy you more mittens. The mittens I bought you were the only furry ones that were left. I bought them the very last pair. Just then, all the happy it went right out of me, 'cause I didn't actually pound one. That terrible development. Yeah, only we have to, Grandpa. We have to buy more furry mittens, or else what will I ever do? Grandpa Miller ruffled my hair. Did you look in the lost and found at school? He asked. I did. Yeah, only that dumb thing doesn't work that good, 'cause people don't always turn stuff in. I patted my new pin in my pocket. Trust me on this. I know what I'm talking about. Well, your mittens could still turn up, he said. Folks will surprise you sometimes. Then he told me a story about his wallet. A few years ago, I lost my wallet at the mall. I was sure I would never, ever see it again, he said. I bobbed my head up and down, and I know it. That's because of finders, keepers, losers, weepers. I said, finders, keepers, losers, reapers. Is that right? Right, Grandpa? Grandpa Miller smiled. Well, it might be the rule for some people, he said, but luckily it's not the rule for everybody. Because the very next day, when I went out to get the mail, there it was. My wallet was sitting right smack in the middle of my mailbox, and not one single penny was missing. His eyes looked happy and sparkly. Can you imagine that, little girl? He asked. Someone had the chance to take everything in my wallet, but instead they drove all the way to my house and they put it in my mailbox. Just then, he reached in his back pocket and pulled out his wallet. Look what I would have lost if they hadn't returned it, he said. He took a picture out of his wallet and he handed it to me. It's you as a baby, I said. But that's not just any baby, he said. That's you, Junie B. That's a picture of you the very first time I ever held you. He took the picture back and stared at it. Nicest thing a stranger ever did for me, bringing me back this picture, he whispered. Very nice of them. Then he leaned over and he kissed me on the head. Chapter 7, The Pink Fluffy Girl. After I talked to my grandpa, I went to my room. I closed my door real secret. Then I took my wonderful pen out of my pocket and I did a big sigh. Because I had confusion in me. That's why. I wish I never heard the wallet story, I said. Because finders, keepers, losers, weepers, well, it isn't the rule, apparently. And so now maybe I might be a crook. I looked at my wonderful pen. Yeah, only I didn't even feel like a crook. I felt like a lucky duck. But I still have to take this thing to the lost and found. Well, probably. And then it will go to the waste, just like the teddy bear backpack. All of a sudden, I heard Mother and Daddy come home from work. I quick hid my pen under my mattress, because those two would not be understanding of this situation. They came in my room and kissed me hello. I told them what happened to my mitten. Then I begged and I begged for them to take me to the store. But Mother said, there's no more left. And Daddy said, there's no more left too. And so there was no more left, apparently. That's how come I got dressed all over again, and I couldn't even sleep good that night. I kept wondering about who was the mitten crook, and what did he look like, because I've seen crooks on TV before, and they are biggish and meanish with tattoos all over themselves. Just then I sat up in my bed, because a good idea, it just popped into my head. That's why. Hey, a tattoo isn't easy to spot, I bet, I said, and so maybe I can find the crook on the playground tomorrow. I'll look for somebody that has a tattoo. After that, I went right straight to sleep, because I would need my strength for crook looking. The next day at recess, I didn't play horses with Lucille and Grace. Instead, I run all around the playground looking for the mitten crook. Only too bad for me, because most of the children had their jackets on, and so I couldn't even see any crooks with tattoos. Pretty soon the bell rang. This is when my eyes got tears in them, because I would never see my mittens again. Never, ever, ever. Oh, I started walking to room 9. My nose was sniffly and drippity. I wiped it on my attractive jacket sleeve. And all of a sudden, a pink fluffy girl skipped past me. She had on pink fluffy dress with pink fluffy socks and shoes, and pink fluffy jacket made with pink fluffy fur. And guess what else? She had black furry mittens in her pink fluffy pockets. My eyes got big and wide. Hey, my mittens, my mittens, my mittens! I screamed real loud, and then I put my head down and I zoomed at her like a speeding bullet. Mrs. saw me running. She grabbed me by my attractive winter jacket. I jumped up and down and pointed. That pink fluffy girl stole my mittens. She is the crook. Only her jacket is covering up her tattoo. And so what? That's what she had. Oh, Mrs. called to the pink little fluffy girl. She skipped over where she were. I kept on jumping. You stole them. You stole my mittens, I said. No, I didn't, she said back. I didn't steal anything. I found these mittens. They were right in the grass, and so I thought nobody wanted them. I did, I yelled. I wanted them. My Grandpa Miller bought them for me for no good reason. And I've been worrying about them all day and all night, and that is called a heartache, madam. Mrs. said to hush my voice. She took my mittens away from the pink fluffy girl and gave them back to me. Then she bended down and she talked to the pink fluffy girl very seriously. Even if you thought no one wanted these mittens, it was wrong of you to take them, she told her. The pink fluffy girl pointed at me. But she didn't even take care of them, she said. I stamped into my foot. Yes, I did. I did take care of them. I left them with my attractive winter jacket because I didn't even know there were crooks at this place. Mrs. said, hush to me again. You should have taken them to the lost and found, she told the pink fluffy girl. Yeah, because then I would have found them when I looked there, I said. And so what do you think the box is over there for? For my health? The pink fluffy girl started to cry. But I really, really love them, she said. Mrs. smoothed her hair. I'm afraid that's not the issue, she said. Yeah, we're afraid that's not the issue, I said, because finders keepers isn't the rule, apparently. And so from now on, if you find my stuff, you have to take it to the lost and found. Plus, also you can put it in my grandpa's mailbox. Mrs. looked at me real long. She said, I'm getting on her nerves. After that, she held the pink fluffy girl's hand, and they went to talk to her teacher. I quick did put my mittens on. Then I buried my face in the black furry, and I danced around real joyfully. 8. I'm not a crook. The next day, I went to the principal's office. The grouchy typing lady looked over the counter at me. I rocked back and forth on my feet. Yeah, only I'm not even bad again, I said. I just need to go to the lost and found, that's all. The grouchy typing lady opened the closet. She pulled out the big box. Just then the phone rang, and she hurried up to answer it. I quick bended down and digged my hands in the lost and found. Then my heart got very thrilled, because I saw that wonderful teddy backpack again. That's why. I snuggled my face in its tummy. I love this soft guy. I put him on my back and skipped all around. The grouchy typing lady hanged up the phone. Did you lose that too? She asked me. Is that why you're here? I kept standing there. Well, she said. Finally I did a big sigh. Then I walked very slow back to the box and took off the teddy bear backpack. No, I said. After that, I reached in my pocket and I pulled out my wonderful pen. I found this, I said. It was on the floor by the water fountain, and I really, really love it. Only, that's not the issue. Then I did a big, deep breath, and I dropped it, my wonderful pen, into the lost and found. I'm not a crook, I said, kind of quiet. The grouchy typing lady looked nicer at me. She ruffled my hair. No, she said. Of course you're not a crook. After that, I rocked back and forth on my feet some more, and I waited and waited and waited. The typing lady raised up her eyebrows at me. I'm waiting for you to grin, I explained. Only there seems to be a delay. She laughed right out loud. That's when I felt it, the grin. It came right on my face. Hey, it's working, I said, real squeaklish. I skipped all around the office, very happy. Then the typing lady opened the door, and I skipped all the way to room 9. And guess what? I didn't even find a pen that writes 4 different colors. And boy, what a big relief that was. Well, that's the end. So Junie B did the right decision and got her mittens back and returned the pen, even though Junie B didn't want to. So Junie B can do some good things sometimes. Have a good day. Bye-bye.